So your nice words will not affect me. And on the other hand, when the Lord was nailed on the cross, people said the nastiest of the nastiest of the nastiest words to him. They ridiculed him, laughed at him, spat at him, told him off badly. And what did the Lord Jesus say? Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. Neither the nice words made a balloon out of me, nor a nasty word made me lose hope. I was focused, steadfast on my Father. That's why what people said, thought about me, affected me not. And this is why I accomplished the mission faithfully, loyally, honorably. The reason why we are still affected by people, because part of us is still living in this world. The day you leave this world and follow Christ, neither good nor bad will make any difference to you. Because then and then only the Lord has taught you that you don't get your reward from people, you get it from me. So whose glory are you seeking? And who do you want to be paid by? People or by your Lord? Love the Lord Jesus. Live the Lord Jesus. Ask Him to grant you wisdom, humility, and to ask Him to grant you knowledge, love. But this love is to be for Him, and humility is to be before Him. I live for you, and I am humble before you. I am here for you, Lord. I'm not here for me. I'm not here for people. I'm not here for fame. I'm not here for position. I'm not here for nothing. I'm not here for nobody. I'm here for you, Lord. Yes, I come to church and I want to see the church packed, but I want to see people loving you. I want to see people coming for you, not for this piece of wreck called Bishop Murray. No. I can't help myself, let alone help you. But if I can, by the grace of the Lord, make you love the Lord, then the job is done. You can say, I love you, Bishop. You can say, I hate you, Bishop. It's absolutely fine, my child. I love the one who loves me, and I love the one who hates me, because I did not come to love people and for people to love me. I came to love my sweetheart Jesus Christ. And through my Jesus, whoever wants to come, love my Jesus, and then love me, then I love you through my Jesus. This is true love. And if I have this true love in my heart, then I will be a true servant of the Lord. Therefore, a true servant of you, my dear brother. I'll tell you the truth. Not what you want to hear, but what Christ wants you to hear. That's what I'll tell you. If I have the love of God in my heart, I'll tell you not what you want to hear, but what Christ wants you to hear. That is true love. My son, my daughter, don't fall for this trap where people just come and be nice to you and they laugh and they tell you some nice things that you want to hear and make everything so easy for you. Don't trust such people. Trust the one that is making it difficult for you. Trust the one that is saying to you, you need to walk through the narrow gate, not the wide gate. Trust the one that says to you, if you go to that dark alley, you will hurt yourself. Come to the light. Don't ever go to the dark. I came forth from the Father so that I can bring back and reinstate what you lost when you broke my Father's word. You lost wisdom, humility, and you lost knowledge, love. When you lost love and humility, you lost God, because that's what God is. God is love and humility. When you lost God, then everything became wrong. What you know became wrong. What you understood became wrong. What you chose, everything became wrong. But you did not know any better, because what makes you realize what is truth and what is lie is wisdom. So the moment you lost that wisdom, you lost everything and you misdefined everything. So I came back to reinstate this in you. Humility, wisdom, to understand God, knowledge, love, to be with God. To be with Him and work for Him. You can never work for someone you don't love. And you can never work unless you know what is expected of you. That's why church leaders like me, I'm talking about myself, yeah? I'm not judging. But church leaders like me, they need wisdom and knowledge of God. Not PhD in theology. See, PhD in theology gives you some knowledge of God, but to shepherd the flock of God, you need wisdom. That's why there are some leaders who are very educated, but failures as shepherds, because they lack wisdom. They have plenty of knowledge, but no wisdom. You know why? Because to obtain wisdom from God, you need to deny yourself. Humble yourself. Humbling oneself is not easy. One day, I was a priest. There was an engagement, and they asked me specifically to go and bless the rings. And the engagement was held in a reception. I never liked going to reception, but what do I do? I had no choice. So I told that person that if you don't let me know by, for example, 7 p.m., I have to attend a church for a Bible preach. I must go. Your last time is 7 p.m. That's the cutoff time. If I don't hear from you, I'll be going to the church. He said, that's fine. He called me at 7:30, maybe 20 to 8. I was 3/4 of the way to the church. He said, you can come now. I was speaking very nicely. I said, but I told you like 7 p.m. He said every foul word you could ever imagine to me under the sun. Every foul word. I think at that moment, I just thought for a moment, I said, Satan is learning from this guy. Every foul word you could ever imagine, he said it to me over the phone, yelling on top of his voice. Extremely foul. Just kept my cool. And then after, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of yelling and very colorful language, I said, look, I'm coming. So I rang the church. I said, tell people something came up urgent, I can't come for the Bible preach. It got canceled, the Bible preach. So I drove back to the reception. I walked in, the man was sitting there. I didn't say nothing. I just finished for the music to finish so I could walk in for those whatever minutes, bless the rings, and out of there as quick as possible. So I didn't say anything. I waited till that music finished, and then they called my name. I went in there. We did the blessing, everything beautiful. Congratulations, well done. We're very happy for you. God bless you. Love you, love you, love you. It was the daughter of this man's engagement. And then I finished. As I was walking out, I came to go out. I saw him sitting. So I walked up to him. I said, so-and-so, how are you? His head was down to the ground. I said, have I ever said anything to you that upset you or did anything to you? He said, no, I'm really sorry. And I can't look in your face anymore. So all the time he had his head down. I said, why do you do that? It's not nice, is it? He said, no.